Literature Hub 247 is a unique channel where literature is discussed every hour. It's on this note I welcome you to this platform. My name is Fina. This particular video is about an African novel titled So the Past Does Not Die, written by Pede Hollist. And let me inform you, we have reviewed all the chapters in this novel. All the chapters are already reviewed, starting from the plot summary to the prologue, and the 24 chapters are already reviewed. We've also identified the themes. All are on this platform. So if you need the link to any of the review chapters or the theme, just send your request to the comment section and it will be sent to you. So this is the character analysis. We are able to identify the major characters and we write something about them. Let's go into the classroom. Now, before I continue, let me tell you that in writing about characters, there are 3 things that we need to follow. At the end of this video, I'm going to give you the 3 guidelines that you need to follow when you are asked to write about characters in WAEC or NECO. The first character here is Fina Amadu. Fina Amadu is the protagonist of So the Past Does Not Die. She is the daughter of Amadu and Nabu in Talaba village, Sierra Leone. Her younger sister is Isa and her senior sister is Dimusu, who is dead. Finaba is a beautiful girl who is endowed with black shiny skin. She has braided hair, a slender and elegant neck, coupled with a broad forehead and thick contoured eyelashes. She is gifted with a pointed nose and fleshy round lips. She is a child loved by her parents and grandmother. They all want the best for her. The grandmother wants her circumcised to be accepted in society, and her parents don't want her circumcised because of their love for her. The grandmother wants her circumcised because they believe that a girl child needs to be circumcised before she is accepted in the society, and that's what the grandmother Baramu wants for Finaba. And her parents are also against it because of their love for her. Finaba is an obedient child as she obeys the instructions of Baramu, her grandmother. She educates her on the importance of circumcision, and she doesn't hesitate to follow her to the fafe. Fafe is the place where the circumcision takes place, that is in the forest. In the same vein, Finaba takes to the commands of her parents when they come to the fafe to stop the circumcision. Despite her agreement with Baramusu, she follows them. The villagers, after the incident, called Finaba and her parents, and they eventually left the village for Freetown, the capital of Sierra Leone. The family lives with Alhaji Umaru, Amadu's uncle, in Sierra Leone. Finaba ends up living with the Hedos after the death of her father, where she was made the odd one out. Finaba is an ambitious girl. She was admitted to Crowder College but could not finish her degree. She afterward traveled to the US due to his ambition. She is a good friend of Amma and Edna in America. She meets Kami in the US, whom she is dedicated to, and becomes her fiancé. The curse placed on her family follows her around. Her wedding ceremony was interrupted in America by Juma, her former fiancé. Finaba is a caring person. She has it in mind in the US to come back to take care of the displaced and less privileged children. She achieved this when she's back in Sierra Leone as she's employed by an NGO. Finaba is a main character. While looking for Baramusu, she meets Mama Yegbe and Mawaf, whom she cares for and takes care of. She adores Mawaf and works out how she will be rehabilitated. She believes in the culture of her people. She refers to the disruption of her circumcision process as the origin of her problems. She also believes in Baramusu's statement. Hence, she makes sure she cares for Isa, her sister. She doesn't want to cut the rope as won by Baramu. The next character here is Amadu. He is Finaba's father and husband to Nabu. His other children are Demusu, who is late, and Isa, Finaba's younger sister. Amadu is a responsible husband to his wife. They are together in making decisions for their children. Amadu loves his children, especially Finaba. That's why he made the sacrifice to interrupt her initiation. Process at the Fafe. He understands that it is an abomination for a man to enter the Fafe, but does so because of his love for Finaba. The incident led to their ouster from Talaba. The family is advised to leave the village after curses have been placed on them. Amadu died in Freetown after sustaining an injury at his place of work. He died of tetanus poisoning because he couldn't go to the hospital to treat the wound. The next character is Nabu. Nabu is the wife of Amadu and mother to Demusu, Finaba, and Isa. She's a dutiful and responsible wife to her husband and performs her duty as a wife efficiently. She stays with him throughout the events that break out after the interruption of Finaba's circumcision process. She's not always in agreement with her mother-in-law, Baramusu, especially on the issue of Finaba's circumcision. Baramusu didn't support his son marrying her in the first instance. She believes that Nabu is a city woman who will not understand their culture very well. She's initially planning to marry another girl she believes will perform her role better as a wife. That is, she plans to marry another girl for Amadu, her son. Nabu is a lovely mother to her children, as she also sacrifices for them. She and her husband try a lot to save the Musu, but dies eventually. Fina received the news of her death in chapter 7 with shock. Isa calls to inform her that their brother is dead. The next character is Baramusu. Baramusu is the mother of Amadu, grandmother of Finaba, and mother-in-law to Nabu, Finaba's mother. She is a traditional woman who believes much in the traditions and ways of life of her people. Baramusu loves Finaba, so she doesn't want something bad to happen to her. She is passionate about seeing Finaba doing well presently and in the future. That's why she insists on initiating her into womanhood by carrying out the circumcision on her. She so much believes in the consequences of compliance and non-compliance to the circumcision culture. Baramusu appeals to the gods on behalf of Amadu's family. She also leads the women who rain curses on the family when Amadu refuses to ask for forgiveness. Her whereabouts are not known when Fina comes back from the US looking for her. She is, however, told that a carnage occurred in Talaba, so Fina believes that she might have been killed in the carnage. We also have Pedu. He is also known as Uncle Christian, quote-unquote, in the novel, and is the head of the Edu family. He is the husband of Mrs. Hedu, Auntie Mati, and father of Taiwo and Kende, Ade, and Edna. Pedu employs Amadu, Fina's father, through Alhaji Umaru, Amadu's uncle. He is a kind man. After the death of Amadu, he offers to come to Nabu's aid, and he does assist her. He tells Nabu to allow Fina to come and live with his family to lessen the burdens on Nabu. In chapter 3, when Pedu discovers that he was wrong to have beaten Fina, he tries to make amendments. He gives her money for lunch in the school, buys her gifts, and lessens her work in the house. Pedu is a good man to his employees. We can infer this from the comments of Ali, whom Ade burst his son's head with a stone. Ali says he would have gone to the police if not for the generosity of Pedu. He is also a man who doesn't like trouble. When Ali says he would have informed the police and talk about killing, Pedu pays his salary 2 months upfront. He then relieves him of his work and tells him to back out of the compound. Pedu is a disciplinarian. He beats the hell out of Taiwo, her daughter, when he overhears her mother accusing her of coming from a boyfriend. He also beats Fina when she emerges from her room after they have searched for her. Pedu lives a reckless life. He is not faithful to his wife, as he befriends one of Fina's friends and impregnates her. He also drinks beer. When he's drunk, he will play music and dancing in the house. We also have Kissy. His real name is Ezekiah Mendes Mbakut. He is the senior lab technician at the Faculty of Natural Sciences at CC in Sierra Leone, that is Crowder College. He is the one Fina approached while in Crowder College for examination questions. He tricks Fina and rapes her without any assistance from him. Kissy is the husband of Edna. They duo meet in America and get married. He described Fina as a cheat in America because Camille refuses to testify that Kissy did eat the white man who is in the hospital. He is falsely accused of eating Roland Trebon, a white man. So they still meet in America. That is Kissy and Fina. Sidibekeke. Sidibekeke is a handsome Mandigo diamond merchant in Koido. He has 3 wives, and Aziza is his youngest wife. He is a lover of women and always ready to spend a fortune on any who comes his way to win her. Though he tried it on Fina but failed. He plays different tricks to marry Fina, but the latter does not yield. He makes a revelation to Fina that all categories of people in Sierra Leone deal in the diamond business. They only hide behind their schools, churches, and clinics. Sidibekeke gets the American visa for Fina to change her mind about marrying him. He also pays for the flight to the US. He tells Fina that he pays remedy the cut and uncut diamonds in exchange for the visa. When Fina returns from the US, Sidibe still proposes to marry her and becomes a father to Mawaf and Demusu Celeste. Fina doesn't even look at his side. He assists Fina in the center, buying gifts for the children and advising them. He helps her in getting artisans where something needs to be fixed at the center. The next character is Ama. Her name is Amasinga Alkata and an African. She is the district manager of the Assured Insurance Company where Fina works. She creates interest in Fina and they become very close friends. It is through Aman that Fina meets Juma, who is a relative at the burial of Aman's grandmother. Juma introduces himself as a businessman and entrepreneur, but he is a drug addict. He's a drug addict and at the same time an abuser of women. After Fina was engaged to him and she got a green card, he disappeared. Juma reappeared on Fina's wedding and disorganized the wedding as he claimed that Fina was his wife. Ama is Bayo Karuwi's wife. She meets him where she is invited as a guest speaker to talk on name, and it is through Ama that Fina meets Kame, whom she eventually marries. The next character is Kame. His full name is Cameron Dexter Pede. He is a Trinidadian sojourn in his mid-30s. He has a 6'4" body build. He has beautiful dreadlocks on his head. His father is George Pede, while his mother is Celeste Pede. His late brother is Donovan. He is the father of Glenn Gibson from Anoska Mutari, a lady she had affairs with while in high school. Fina and Ama have gone to a party where a doctor friend of Bayo's friend invited them to. The dancing of Fina and her knowledge of calypso lyrics attract Kame to Fina at the party. Kame is a cool-headed somebody. He is able to settle the differences with Fina after the disruption of their wedding. He is humble and is always ready to admit when he is wrong and ready to take the blame. He apologizes to Fina for leaving her on the church premises after the Scottish marriage. And remember that they eventually settled the issue and they come back together. And the daughter, that is Demusu Celeste, they come together and settle down in Sierra Leone at the end. We also have Juma. Juma is Aman's relative and is the first man Fina married in America. Juma describes himself as a businessman and entrepreneur. Fina meets him at the funeral of Ama's grandmother, and she creates interest in him immediately. Ama wants Fina to cut the relationship when she discovers that it is degenerating into public disagreements today and an angry phone conversation tomorrow. Juma is also an abuser of drugs and women. Shantia, Ama's sister, wants Fina to desist, but she doesn't listen. Her focus is to get her green card through Juma. After Fina gets a green card, Juma disappears to thin hair, only to reappear on Fina and Kame's wedding day. He interrupts the wedding when he announces that Fina is his wife. Another character is Svetlana Nostrom. She is a Norwegian-born director of Families Reunited. That's an NGO. This is a non-governmental agency that rehabilitates traumatized children and reunifies families separated by war. She is a thin, black-haired white woman. Svetlana is kind as she feels for Fina when she hears her story. Fina meets her at the Waterloo Transit and Refugee Camp while looking for Baramu. She offers Fina a ride to Freetown, and Fina is able to narrate her story, and she offers to assist her. However, she couldn't find Baramusu, but another old woman known as Mama Yegbe. It is through her that Fina is connected to Mama Yegbe and Mawaf, who she eventually adopted. Remember, Fina eventually adopted Mawaf as a daughter at the end. She is hardworking and punctual. She always follows the schedule of her work. She is hospitable. She makes it convenient for Fina to meet Mama Yegbe and Mawaf at her residence. They are relating as if they have known one another before. The naming ceremony of Fina's daughter takes place in her house. Svetlana is generous. She put down money to prepare food and buy the materials needed for Fina's daughter's naming ceremony. She encourages Fina to rehabilitate Mawaf as she enlightens her on why Mawaf behaved the way she's behaving. She also advises her to take up the job of a deputy director who is leaving at the end of the month. Fina agrees and takes up the job. We also have Mawaf. She is an adolescent found with Mama Yegbe in the bush. Mawaf is one of the traumatized victims of the war in Syria alone. Mawaf is not her real name. She says she has forgotten her name and doesn't want it anymore. That is from her when Fina asks her what's her real name. She says she has forgotten her name and she doesn't even want that name. That is convenient with Mawaf. It's when Captain is threatening his boys not to touch Mawaf that he pronounces my wife in Cockney as Mawaf. That is just an accent. Captain is trying to refer to her as my wife. So he now uses that accent. Now say Mawaf. That's how it turns to her name. See? Cockney is the accent of the natives of the East End of London. So that's how the name Mawaf comes out. She is abused emotionally and sexually by Captain, her sister's boyfriend. He impregnates her and allegedly kills the baby. Mawaf was commanded by Captain to rub the battery water on Mama Yegbe's face. She feels for the old woman, but Captain tells her to leave the woman. She cares for the old woman, Mama Yegbe, and protects her. That's why she attacks Fina. When Mama Yegbe discovers that she's not a daughter, that is when she discovered that Fina was not her daughter then. The ugly experience she had during the war resulted in depression in her. She has been abused, brainwashed, threatened, and beaten. 3 bottles of beer are forced into her mouth by Captain, and a powder of drugs into her nose. This is to make her high and become fearless. There are still some traces of humanity in her, considering the way she cares for Mama Yegbe and the Musu Celeste. It's only because of what she's exposed to during the war. It's what she exposed to during the war that affects her. According to her account, she and Mama Yegbe are rescued from the bush by the Ekomo. Ekomoga group of soldiers during the war in Sierra Leone. We also have Mama Igbe. Mama Igbe is the old woman found by First Lana Nostrum while assisting Fina to look for Baramu in the bush. Mawaf, an adolescent girl, is found with her. Mama Igbe is a lovely mother like Baramu. It shows she loves her daughter the way she reacts to Fina when she discovers that she's not her daughter. She's passionate about her daughter like Baramu. The old woman is also a faithful wife to her husband. She stays with her husband, Farmer, who says he is too old to run for the rebels. The rebels came, blinded Mama Igbe, and killed her husband. Mama Igbe is self-aware. She's ready to take responsibility for what she does wrong when she realizes that she reacts to Fina wrongly because she's not her daughter. She goes back to her to apologize. She even breaks down sobbing for the wrongdoing. So, that is the character analysis. We have been able to identify some of the major characters and we write something about them. Now, I did promise at the beginning of this video that I'm going to give you 3 guidelines to follow when you're asked to write about a character in WAEC or NECO exam. The first thing is the comment of another character about the character you are writing about. This character, they normally say something about themselves. So that's the first thing you consider. What another character is saying about the character you are writing about. Another one, that's the second point, is the authorial comment. That is the comment of the author about the character. What the author says about that character. That's number 2. Now, the third one is your own view when you read this novel. What do you feel about the character? What are the things you see in that character? So those are the 3 things you need to follow. I explained all this in one of my videos that I titled How to Answer Literature English Questions in WAEC and NECO. If you have not watched it, I'm going to leave the link in the description of this video. And also, like film, character analysis is also important now, because whenever you ask any question in WAEC or NECO and any name, any character is mentioned, you are expected to identify that character. You are expected to write something about that character. So that's why it's equally important to understand how to identify character. So I will leave the link of that video in the description of this video. That is how to answer literature English questions in WAEC and NECO. There are some other points that you still that are also written there about the new dimension that have just been introduced by WAEC in answering their question. So if you are new on this platform, try and click on the subscribe button and the bell icon so that you'll be part of this video, class, and whenever we release any video, you are going to be notified. Like this video, you are free to share it on any social media platform. Invite your friends and colleagues to join us. Teacher in the house, try and introduce your students to this platform. If you have any question or comments, ask your question through the comment section and it will be attended to. We are also going to discuss the narrative technique. So let's meet in the next class. Thank you and God bless.